Deeper than any other river on Earth, this is the natural boundary splitting the most dangerous jungle on the planet. It is not the lion, but the silverback gorilla that rules every meter of land. Ultimate predators that never stop. The battle for survival unfolds day by day, hour by hour. This river divides the continent. It splits the way of life for living creatures of the same blood. One river, two worlds. Makumba, ruler of 10 living souls in this forest. Today, the entire forest anticipates a clash. Makumba will do the unexpected. And on the other side of the river, where no species from the north can ever step foot, lies a secret that took science nearly a century to uncover. A common ancestor. Geography dictates who they are. (4,300 kilometers), crossing the equator twice, spanning 16 kilometers at its widest, a natural moat slicing the continent in two. The second largest rainforest on the planet. 340 billion tons of carbon in the soil and vegetation. The second lung of Earth. For millions of years, this river has decided how life unfolds on either bank. North of the river, a leopard waits where the shadow is thickest, its spotted coat blending perfectly into the tree bark and decaying leaves. The infants of the gorilla troop are sleeping. The leopard knows this. But Makumba is on guard. Confronting a 200 kHz silverback is never a wise decision. Some battles are not worth starting. A western lowland silverback, leading a family of 10 members. Makumba is a gentle giant. When two females squabble over food, Makumba steps in without using violence. His presence alone is enough. This leader maintains his status through composure and the ability to read social cues. He responds But that afternoon, the peace is shattered. It is a language. The hollow sound resonating through the chest cavity allows the entire forest to estimate the size and health of the male without ever seeing him. For Makumba, the calculation is clear. If he wins, he claims the rival's females and expands his lineage. But if he loses his troop, and the ultimate risk is losing his life. The cost also includes wounds that can become infected. Every cut is a gateway for disease. Then Makumba does what few would expect. Where strength is everything, the strongest creature chooses not to deploy it. The conflict that never happens is Makumba's true victory. King Kong, it turns out, is a lover, not a fighter. The entire family heads toward their nests to sleep. Makumba remains on the ground, relaxed yet vigilant. When a male gorilla reaches about 12 years of age, a surge in testosterone triggers a change in coat color along the back. In the gorilla world, this is the clearest biological signal that this individual is mature enough, strong enough, and experienced enough to lead a troop. This is also an incredibly effective system for avoiding unnecessary interaction. The territory of Makumba's troop spans roughly 1/3 the size of Manhattan Island. Every day they travel from 10 to 15 kilometers in search of over 100 different types of fruit. Makumba disperses thousands of seeds into the forest floor. Without tools, without weapons, without an organized predatory pack, yet they are the reason the forest regenerates, the greatest gardeners of the Congo. One thing keeps Makumba's entire lineage permanently on this northern bank. Gorillas cannot swim. What gives them near unrivaled strength on land is exactly what causes them to sink immediately in deep water. A natural border they can never cross. It confines them and at the same time protects them. Danger is more silent. Gaboon viper is the snake species with the longest fangs, capable of reaching up to 5 centimeters. Its venom employs a dual mechanism. Cytotoxins destroy the tissue surrounding the bite, while hemotoxins prevent the blood from clotting. At 1 month old, a young rock python's senses begin to sharpen. Success depends on choosing the right size of prey and approaching in absolute silence. Is perfectly timed, perfectly targeted. But there is a problem with its teeth. Too small, too weak to finish the job. Not far away, one of its siblings is testing its own luck. tasting the air, pinpointing the prey. This is a massive turning point for a young rock python. Those that survive that first year will grow into some of the most flawless predators in the forest, reaching up to 7 meters in length, tracking prey using heat-sensing pits that detect infrared signatures in pitch-black darkness. Sometimes even giants must yield the path. Forest elephants are roughly 1/3 smaller than their savanna relatives. Forest elephants are roughly 1/3 smaller than their savanna relatives. They visit mineral licks rich in sodium and magnesium to harvest essential minerals. Which helps neutralize toxins in the foliage they consume every day. These mineral spots serve as a communal forest pharmacy. Over 50 other species, from antelopes to primates, share their use. He who knows when strength must yield to caution lives a long life. Where the canopy shuts out the sunlight, the crowned eagle reigns supreme. A wingspan of nearly 1.5 meters is not what makes it perilous. The danger lies in its technique. The crowned eagle does not aim for the chest or abdomen. The prey barely has time to cry out. It utilizes thermal lift within the canopy to carry its catch upward to the nest. A payload 3 times its own body weight. Macumba learns the locations of these light windows in the canopy where the crowned eagle can swoop down effectively. When leading the troop, he avoids these clearings during the eagle's peak hunting hours, early morning and late afternoon. Within that same leafy layer, The black and white colobus chooses a peculiar way of life. Every day, they ingest a quantity of toxins that a human adult could not withstand. The secret lies in a four-chambered stomach, a structure similar to cows and buffalo, yet evolved independently. Bacteria belonging to the genus Fibrobacter in the first stomach chamber break down tannins, phenolic acids, and even cyanide found in young leaves. With colobus living on the highest treetops, anxiety does not only come from the crowned eagle. Pressure from both sides compresses the living space of the colobus, high enough to evade leopards, low enough to reduce the risks from eagles. Each species shapes the living zone of the other. Evolutionary pressures accumulating over millions of generations. Too heavy for a crowned eagle to carry off, too large for a leopard to ambush during the day. But infants under 6 months old, weighing less than 5 kilograms, are within reach of the leopard and the crowned eagle. That is why infants are always kept close to the females, and the females always go near the center of the group, while Macumba always remains on the outer edge. His position is a responsibility. Any male that places himself on the perimeter, shielding the center, has lived longer and passed on more genes than males that retreat to the middle. This is why silverbacks rarely survive past 25 years in the wild, while females can live up to 40 years. Where the Congo forest climbs the slopes of the Virunga volcanoes, 3 volcanoes that remain active. Lives another gorilla, Bagini, a mountain gorilla silverback. Father of a family of 44 members. One of the largest gorilla troops ever recorded by science. Bagini is estimated at over 220 kilograms and has governed this family for more than 20 years. Here, there are no fences. No safe distance is guaranteed by any physical structure. The Virunga Rangers, individuals who risk their lives every day to stand between the gorillas and poachers. They wear face masks. Humans and gorillas share nearly 99% of their DNA. A gorilla's immune system recognizes most of our pathogens. A common human cold can become an epidemic within a gorilla troop that lacks antibodies. And there is a vital rule for anyone approaching gorillas. If a silverback charges, you must absolutely not run away. Running triggers a pursuit reflex. Direct eye contact is a challenge in gorilla language. The signal for "I submit, I am not a threat." In the recorded history of Virunga, not a single person who correctly followed this protocol has ever been truly assaulted by a gorilla. As a researcher remarked after the initial days of contact, gorillas express facial features Gorilla mothers mourn their lost infants, a behavior known as grief carrying, nearly indistinguishable from human funeral responses. The numbers were once grim. Decades of poaching and deforestation once pushed mountain gorillas below 400 individuals globally. 680 in 2008, 1,063 in 2023. A 56% recovery over 15 years, thanks to the rangers carrying on the legacy of Dian Fossey. This is the rarest evidence in wildlife conservation. Humans can reverse an extinction trajectory. The northern bank of the river is the domain of warriors. The chimpanzee, our closest living relative, and one of the most cunning predators in the ancient forest. Like us, they use tools. They even refine their tools over time. Prey on approximately 25 different species. Today, they have found their preferred prey, the meat of the red colobus monkey. The hunt does not begin with a roar. The sole signal meaning it is time to hunt. A hunting party can include up to 36 members. And a pursuit can last for up to 4 straight hours. This is where intelligence comes into play. When all escape routes are severed, the true hunt begins. like David confronting Goliath. Only this time, there is no slingshot. At the very least, resisting buys time for the infants and females to retreat. When the hunt concludes, something strikingly human happens. It is not an equal split. The alpha male eats first, then shares with his closest allies. Meat acts as a social currency. In prey-rich regions, each chimpanzee can consume nearly 1 ton of meat per year, mostly infant colobus and female colobus. While chimpanzees harvest prey in the high canopy, other species continue to drive their ecosystem. Smaller than its savanna relatives, but no less aggressive. A smaller build is an asset. Africa's largest forest antelope, slipping silently along trails at night. Its spiraled horns extending over 1 meter. A species that science once knew only through tracks and hairs found in the mud. Dual evolutionary pressures from both directions force the red colobus to fine-tune its warning systems for both dimensions. Chimpanzees learn to distinguish those signals. The eagle poses no threat to the chimpanzee, but a panicked prey animal presents an opportunity. Every signal from another species is free intelligence. And the large brains of chimpanzees compile that library of data over years. The world of the chimpanzee is not just about skill and meat. It is about politics and organized violence. The alpha eats first, mates first, gets the best rest. Every individual knows their place in the hierarchy, and there is always a price to pay for violations. When a female dares to break the order, the leader, Lono, calls his entire coalition. They hunt down the rebellious female, When it is over, her offspring is gone. Violence is the operating mechanism of the system. An independent female is a threat to the alpha male's power. If one female can break the rules without being punished, other females will try. When a stronger chimpanzee community decides to expand its territory, the males patrol the border zones in small groups until they isolate a solitary male from a weaker community. To control space, this is lethal raiding. One of the most unsettling parallels between chimpanzee behavior and human warfare. One river, two worlds. On the southern bank, 2 million years of isolation has chosen a fundamentally different answer. But before reaching the south, look deep into the river itself, where evolution has unfolded in ways that even science is only beginning to comprehend. A fish species that looks as though it failed to escape the Devonian period. Scale armor, tough as plating. The Congo River has developed a highly sensitive olfactory system, capable of detecting the scent of blood, prey, and danger from long distances underwater. In muddy stretches of the river, where light never reaches the bottom, the elephantfish is doing something far more miraculous. Its long, trunk-like snout, like a vacuum cleaner, to navigate the murky waters. Where the Livingstone Falls create churning rapids that no vessel can survive. The ultra-slender lion-head cichlid holds its ground. An ultra-thin profile allows it to slip into rock crevices, evading the immense force of the swiftest rapids. When the dry season arrives, lungfish burrows into the mud, secretes a mucus cocoon around its body, and sleeps 2 years. Two years as nothing but that mucus shroud, awaiting the next rains. When the rains arrive, the cocoon dissolves, starved but alive. In the expansive wetlands that the Congo River creates before it empties into the ocean, reigns the king of the swamps. This bill serves as a multifunctional survival instrument, harvesting large prey, scooping water to cool down, and communicating. It is waiting. The shoebill is not an elegant ruler. It dominates the apex of the swamp through sheer patience. Yet something even more astonishing than that bizarre bill exists. If sustenance is scarce, the larger chick evicts its smaller sibling from the nest. In the Congo Rainforest, raising two offspring is a luxury. Whichever is stronger survives. The river holds one final filter, a force that no one can outsmart. Nile crocodile, reaching up to 6 meters in length, weighing more than 1 ton, a creature unchanged in any significant way for 90 million years. During the dry season, density increases, pressure mounts, and the crocodiles know it. They do not confront adult hippopotamuses. An adult weighs 3 tons, possesses canines over 1/2 meter long. But a hippopotamus calf, during its first few weeks of life, weighs a mere 40 kilograms. That is the opportunity. The mother never drifts more than 2 meters from her calf. The first 5 days are the most perilous period in the calf's entire life. Even the massive bull hippopotamuses in the pod will not come between mother and calf. It is an inviolable boundary. Yet, this year's dry season persists, 4 weeks longer than forecast. The mother reacts in less than 1 second. It is not fast enough. This is the most brutal reality of the Congo. It is not the strongest that wins, but the one that remains focused. In the decisive moment, a millennia-old instinct, deeper, safer, where no prey protector can follow. Hippopotamuses can swim and dive, but this is the crocodile's terrain. 20 minutes later, it is all over. Crossing this lethal moat, an entirely different world of hominids was born from isolation itself. The hippies of the jungle, bonobo, our closest relative, and living proof that evolution can select vastly different paths from the exact same starting point. The year 1933, King Kong premieres in theaters for the first time. And that same year, science officially titles a new species of great ape, newly discovered and classified for the first time. The bonobo is genetically near identical to the chimpanzee, yet socially they represent a completely different evolutionary experiment. The river isolated the two populations for over 2 million years. The result, the northern bank evolved to organize around male dominance and male violence. The southern bank evolved to organize around the social coalitions of females. Bonobos resolve it in a manner no chimpanzee ever would. They engage in socio-sexual contact, using it as a language to diffuse tension. "Make love, not war," is the phrase often used to describe the bonobo. But even bonobos have limits. Males hold no power through direct coalitions, yet a male's status depends entirely on the status of his mother. A male whose mother leads the female coalition gains priority. As his mother ages and loses her influence, that male loses his status along with her, even if he has done nothing wrong. Something extraordinary has occurred. This is a moment that shatters every preconception. The bonobos are known as peaceful creatures, and that stereotype holds true when compared to the chimpanzee. We often mistakenly believe the bonobos are vegetarian, but they will consume meat when the opportunity arises. A small antelope the size of a rabbit makes a perfect meal. Left with no escape, rarely has this spectacle been caught on film. The gentle bonobos harvest prey, just like chimpanzees. But what follows is what sets them apart. Bonobos distribute the catch equally. No one is left hungry, and no one has to fight for their share. Cooperation over competition. How 1,000,000 years of isolation on the southern bank of the Congo shaped a great ape into something the northern bank never produced. Fresh colobus meat is no exception for the bonobo. A troop of colobus monkeys has entered their domain. The bonobo troop deploys a high-risk tactic. One bonobo draws the attention of two male colobus monkeys. This could be a massive error. But it shows no fear. On the contrary, it provokes them, and away from the infants. A diversionary display that grants the bonobo troop the advantage. Now, the infant colobus monkeys become easy targets. They secure two colobus monkeys. That single bonobo accepted the risk, and it paid off. One ancestor, one river, two opposite worlds. The Congo River does not end in the forest. After a journey of more than 4,700 kilometers, it empties into the Atlantic Ocean at Ponga National Park, along the coast of Gabon. During the early months of the rainy season, something else occurs along the coastal sands. the largest turtle species alive on Earth, has laid its eggs on these beaches for millions of years. So tiny, they can rest within the palm of a human hand. The distance might not seem far, but for a newborn turtle, it is a battle for survival. Ghost crabs, moving faster than the human eye can track. Only 1 in 1,000 hatchlings survives to maturity. And as the hatchlings crawl toward the sea under the cover of night, the Congo River keeps flowing right beside them. Fresh water and salt water collide here, forging an estuary zone of a distinctive reddish-brown hue. A sticky tongue 70 centimeters long. In that darkness, the forest does not sleep nights every year. When threatened, it rolls into a ball. No predator possesses jaws strong enough to pry this sphere open. The dung beetle gathers the waste of all species. Thanks to the dung beetle, nutrients are driven deep into the soil, where bacteria decompose them and feed them back into the root system. Its flora would fail to an ecosystem that never sleeps. It only shifts. The crowned eagle possesses the greatest gripping power among all African eagles. When a crowned eagle establishes a nest, and the area within a 3-kilometer radius around the nest becomes a hazard zone. Every species learns to recognize the shadow of its wings through social experience, something that gorillas, chimpanzees, and bonobos all possess to varying degrees, with different contexts, yet all constituting culture. Not a night of silence. Makumba climbs into his nest, weaving roughly 30 kilograms of leaves and fresh branches into a flat platform. No individual sleeps 2 consecutive nights in the exact same spot. An old nest spreads illness faster than any predator. This behavior is cognitive evidence. It requires foresight and simple cause and effect reasoning. A trait once thought exclusive to humans. Hundreds of kilometers away, Zoe does not build her nest the way Makumba does. Yet, she is doing something similar. Education of her offspring. Zoe, named in the research logs of Dr. Frances White in 1993. Her offspring will nurse until 3 years of age. During those 3 years, it will master the vocalizations of 80 other forest species, learn the locations of nearly 60 species of edible fruit trees, and learn to code the emotional states of dozens of individuals within the troop's social network. No school, just a mother, the troop, and 3 years of focused attention. That is enough to carry on. Carrying on sometimes also means losing. The hippopotamus mother loses her calf. Four months later, she is pregnant again. Losing one litter and giving birth to the next within the same breeding season is the most common strategy in the animal kingdom. Female hippopotamuses give birth for the first time at 5 years of age. And can continue reproducing until age 45. Across those 40 years, the mother's survival means the herd's survival. This is the mechanism. Some things endure by concealing themselves, existing without anyone knowing. The world's largest primate is the only species in this jungle to possess a second face. On the male's face, accurately mirrors the testosterone levels in his blood at that exact moment. In a massive troop called a horde, their vocalizations move like a wave. Other species track the direction of hundreds of large individuals. They are ecological plows, exposing nutrient-rich layers of earth for other species to utilize in their wake. Now numbers just 2, the northern right rhinoceros. Females worldwide. Neither can conceive naturally. They wait for science to engineer embryos from the frozen sperm of deceased males. That is the scale of what has been lost, and what science must accomplish to mend what humanity has broken. The Congo Basin holds 20% of the global terrestrial fresh water. Its rainforest absorbs more carbon dioxide than the Amazon every year. And right now, it is vanishing faster than any other tropical forest on Earth. These three realities hold true simultaneously. And they offer the most concise description of why the Congo serves as the benchmark for the planet's entire climate health. The western lowland gorilla is currently classified by the IUCN as critically endangered, with fewer than 100,000 individuals remaining in the wild. Their reproductive rate is among the lowest in the primate world. Females first give birth between 15 and 18 years of age, with subsequent births spaced 4 to 6 years apart. This means a population losing 10% annually would require more than 50 years with zero additional losses to fully recover. The Aka and Baka people communities that have inhabited the Congo forest for millennia serve as the finest early warning system available for any shift within the ecosystem. This wealth of knowledge is not recorded in any scientific database. Makumba and the gorillas of his troop have no idea that humans are counting their numbers. No idea that individuals devote their lives to ensuring their survival. He only knows the forest he inhabits, and that forest, for now, still stands. The whale shark. Not a single tooth is used for biting. Every hour, over 6,000 liters of seawater pass through natural filters in its gills, leaving behind plankton, fish eggs, and microscopic shrimp. On the back of each individual is a unique map of spots, akin to the fingerprint of a mysterious species that humanity is still learning to comprehend. A whale shark's skin measures up to 15 centimeters thick, the natural armor plating shielding a colossal yet delicate inner anatomy. A creature averaging over 12 meters in length, with jaws expanding wider than 1.5 meters, spending its entire life consuming what cannot be seen by the naked eye. Yet, the whale shark is not the only filter-feeding organism to achieve sizes beyond imagination. A matching strategy gave rise to the largest marvel in the history of life: the blue whale, the largest creature ever to exist on Earth. A body extending over 30 meters, mass exceeding 180 tons, a heart weighing between 80 and 120 kilograms, large enough for a child to crawl through its aorta. But magnitude is not its sole advantage. The blue whale's vocalizations are emitted at frequencies below the human hearing threshold, traveling across hundreds of kilometers of ocean, bending along thermal lines, tracking the seafloor's topography. A single signal can journey further than 800 kilometers. In a world devoid of light, sound is the map. The entirety of existence is one prolonged conversation, submerged deep within the ocean night. No organism in the ocean possesses the capacity to confront over 180 tons of continuous movement. They stand as proof that where light and plankton are plentiful, life can achieve a scale far surpassing the limits of imagination. The strategy of filtering has propelled the blue whale to the pinnacle of the food chain. Evolution sometimes builds the greatest paradox from the largest of living things. Before all of that, the narrative begins the first place where the sun descends. It is a complex communication signal. Carrying details about body size, geographic location, and the intentions of the emitting individual. The spotted hyena harvests its own prey for over 70% of its meals. Speeds exceeding 60 kilometers per hour endure long enough for prey to collapse from exhaustion. Their bite force surpasses 430 kilograms per square centimeter. Spotted hyenas operate within a matriarchal system. Females dominate males completely. The lowest-ranking female in the clan still outranks the highest-ranking male. A clan can count up to 80 individuals, recognizing each member by their vocalizations, remembering alliances and rivalries across generations. This is a social framework on par with primates. It is not intellect, but unadulterated power that provides the final answer. And no species embodies this more than the Cape buffalo. Locals call the Cape buffalo the Black Death, owing to their distinct reaction to danger. The body of each adult weighs nearly 1 ton. Two horns fuse at the crown, forming blocky, thick bones. Biologists refer to this structure as the boss. So hard that rifle bullets occasionally ricochet off. Each charge delivers a force equivalent to a car crashing head-on at 50 kilometers per hour. When a calf is pulled down by lions, they organize a counterstrike. Dozens of adult individuals weighed nearly a ton each. The outcome does not always favor the predator. The power of the buffalo herd does not end with the charge. It endures for days afterward, locked in memory. Cape buffalo possess memories longer than most mammals on the savanna. A lion can be hunted down and counted days later. This is the ability to remember the face and scent of an enemy. Maintained in long-term memory. Then another species appears. The yellow-crested cockatoo, the only crane species on Earth capable of perching on tree branches. Thanks to a hind toe long enough to grasp branches firmly. Their mating dance lasts for hours. The yellow-crested cockatoo bonds with a single partner for life. At the other end of the savanna, a predator is deploying a tactical system built on coordination. The lioness is not the fastest runner on the plains. A top speed of roughly 80 kilometers per hour is compensated for by pack tactics. calculating the interception angle before the prey chooses an escape route. But the topy antelope has evolved its own defense mechanism. A single individual separates from the herd. Scanning the entire savanna with eyes evolved to detect movement at extreme distances. An adult topy's body stands over 170 centimeters tall, weighing more than 60 kilograms. When the sentry sounds the alarm, a stakeout lasting hours dissolves in 3 seconds. That strategy is forged within the body of the female, the one who truly sustains the pride. The male does not provision the pride. Females execute 90% of all hunts across the pride's lifespan. An adult lioness weighs roughly 60 kilograms, measuring nearly 2 meters long. Her pale, tawny coat breaks up the outlines of her body within the dry grass. The hunter becomes a visual void. Her eyes evolved to distinguish the movement of prey. From the motion of the wind. Across tall blades. two visual inputs that are nearly identical to almost any other species. The pride's survival rests upon the answer to a single daily question. What did the females secure today? This is Africa. Nothing is given freely. Every food chain on this continent begins with a silent moment like this. Africa writes all of those narratives upon the same earth, yet this continent is but a single page. This planet holds another realm, wider than any savanna, deeper than any mountain range, darker than any terrestrial forest, the ocean. The Mariana Trench stretches over 2,500 kilometers across the western Pacific. The deepest fracture on Earth's surface. where two tectonic plates collide, and one is swallowed into the heart of the planet. The deepest point is the Challenger Deep, nearly 11,000 meters below sea level. And Everest's peak would still rest more than 1.6 kilometers beneath the surface. There is no concept of sunlight. Yet, life still endures in conditions where nothing should logically survive. But there is yet another realm, the Congo forest, where the vast wild shields the sky. There, creatures that know how to use tools, organize power, and pass down knowledge through generations, are writing a completely different story. The Congo River is not silent at night. It nearly changes, shifts. Always in motion, even when no human eye is watching. It has flowed this way since 37 million years ago, when it first carved through the African soil. And the organisms living within it, adapting to it, shaped by it, reshaping it, are still here. As long as the forest remains, they remain. Far to the east, the Garamba savanna, dwells a lion pride. They do not enter the forest. Because in that dense darkness, a lion's claws and fangs find no room to operate. Its speed has no straight path to run. The gorilla is the king of the jungle. The lion is the king of the savannah. Geography has decided who reigns where, since long before humans arrived here to give them names. If the chimpanzees or gorillas in this film impressed you, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay with our on future expeditions into the field, where we will keep decoding the most mysterious survival codes in existence.